We got Track Attack's new engine on the stand. We're gonna start assembling it. Got the old one stripped out of the way. You know, maybe Chucky will need it or something. Who knows? So as far as this one goes, Justin's already walked you through the components, cams, rods, pistons, whatever. You can check that link to the video in the description if you're curious as to what's going on with it, but for right now we're going to start assembling. Okay, so the first step, we're going to go ahead and install our oil pump with our billet gears and crank sprocket. Get that in place, then I'm going to start putting the head studs in. We're going to install our heads, and then we'll flip it over, do the oil pan, set up timing chains, cams, timing cover, all that stuff. We'll get it as a sealed engine. Then I'm going to drop it back in place on the subframe. We'll dress it from there, and then we'll drop the car back onto it. So we're doing something a little special with this 5.2 block we're putting in. We've got these head gaskets here from Ford. These are actually 2020 GT500 head gaskets. They fit on these old GT350 blocks. You can see we've got one unboxed here. Fully coated, 4-layer MLS gasket. This should hold up pretty well to all the abuse we're about to put this poor little baby through. So we'll get them on there, we'll see how she holds up, and we'll let you know if you want to do this to yours too. We're installing ARP hardware in this engine, cam caps and head studs. You want to make sure when you're installing this stuff that you follow their procedure. There's a very specific procedure. Even if you're installing factory stuff, you want to follow the factory procedure. Torque specs are very important. You want to make sure you get them right. You don't want heads lifting, you don't want cams breaking, you don't want anything like that happening to your engine. So ARP kits come with a spec sheet. They tell you how to torque them. They tell you to use the grease. They send you the grease with it. Just follow the procedures and you shouldn't have any problems. Okay, Track Attack's engine is assembled in long block plus a little extra form. We're gonna drag it over now, set it right back on the subframe, get it all dressed, drop the car on it. And we're gonna make vroomy noises. Lots and lots of vroomy noises.
I'm back out in the shop. Jesse has got Track Attack's motor basically together. We've just been waiting for UPS to come back. There were some delays due to Hurricane Dorian. So the clutch finally showed up from Jeff at Mantic. Not his fault, UPS's fault. He rebuilt our Mantic twin disc as a triple disc because he got word of how much horsepower we were going to be making. And when you go to the triple disc, you also have to change out the slave for a different one, and you have to use the spacer. So luckily, Jeff took really good care of us. He got us a clutch that will hold the horsepower that Track Attack is hopefully going to make, and we just won't have to worry about that part of the build. The next thing I want to show you is the ported intake manifold that Brett did for us. So if you watch our channel a lot, you know that Brett Barber at Airflow Solutions is who we work with for all of our head and intake manifold porting. He does an amazing job. He is a full CNC porting shop, so he's able to consistently port from runner to runner and replicate that. Let me tell you, in this day and age, if you're not doing CNC porting, I really don't know what you're doing. So his work speaks for itself. I've got the nasty stock manifold here, and you can see how small these openings on the runners are. I mean, they just look so restrictive. These ported runners are huge. They flow about 10 to 15% more air, which in terms of runner CFM is huge. Coyote already flows in the high 200s, low 300s on CFM, so you want to make sure that your supercharger manifold can match that, and that is what Brett is able to do. So the other thing that Brett does when he ports a manifold is he opens up this area under the intercooler so the entire intercooler gets exposed. That's going to help with our downstream air temps. We also carry these CNC ported manifolds on our website, and we have a core exchange program where we have a couple on the shelf. We send one out to you, you send yours back to us. So that is available. Like I said, this build for Track Attack is all about using off-the-shelf parts so you can replicate this combination at home. I can't wait for Jesse to get this all assembled and get it fired up for the first time.